Hello, and welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, I want to talk about Murtagh, the new Eragon book. Well, it's not actually an Eragon book because it's about Murtagh, but it takes place in the same world as Eragon. So reading this book was like a blast from the past in the best possible way. I grew up on Eragon. I think many of us grew up on Eragon. It was the first high fantasy book series I ever read. It was also the first book series where I theorized about the next books with my friends. When I was 14, in 2010, I even met Paolini in a live signing and asked him if Brom would be brought back to life in the next book, to which he responded with no comment. But I was extremely certain of this theory, and like most of my theories, it was proven incorrect. But in the fourth book, it was at least acknowledged by Eragon, so at least I had that. Regardless, while I read the first two countless times, my love faded to the background as I grew a bit older. Not that the next two books weren't good, but I had a million other books pulling me in different directions at the time. So I simply read Bersinger and Inheritance and moved on. To Sleep in the Sea of Stars was great in a different way. Paolini had definitely enhanced his skills as a writer, but I actually set it down and I never finished it about a third of the way through. The setting and the characters just personally didn't grip me. I can understand why other people would love the book, but it just wasn't for me. And I'm just more of a fantasy fan in general, so it makes a bit of sense. But this book, Murtagh, on the other hand, was the best of Eragon in combination with Paolini's enhanced skills. It really showcases his growth as a writer in the last 20 years. And yes, Eragon was released 20 years ago. 20 years ago. Murtagh starts off phenomenally. I won't get into spoilers, but it's really engaging immediately. The book reads more like linked novellas with an underlining plot than a single story. Each is split into one of three locations that Murtagh and Thorn visit in Alagasia. By doing so, I think Paolini managed to keep things consistently fresh and actually avoid his long-windedness that I think his other books often suffer from. The plot was sufficiently engaging throughout. I never felt bored by what was happening, and I think the reveals throughout were paced really well. After I finished, I was genuinely surprised to find out that this book is longer than Eragon, because it has such remarkably good pacing. I think Murtagh as a book capitalizes on the potential of the world of Eragon. I remember being a bit regretful when a few mysterious locations were never visited in the original series. I assumed that we would never see them since Eragon left the world behind. But having Murtagh go through them, in my opinion, is a stroke of genius. Murtagh as a character is far, far more interesting than Eragon. I always loved him in the original series, and as a point of view character, my love for him expanded tenfold. He has really real conflicts with his past, and he has a completely unique history and relationship with the world. Him and Thorn feel like characters who are haunted by their past at each location they visit. And they grow significantly throughout the book as they better understand their location and role in the world. Murtagh is my favorite thing that I've ever read of Paolini's. It plays to his strength as an author. Pacing, character work, setting, everything is at its height here. Alagasia has never felt more visceral and real than in this book. Unfortunately, I don't think this is a standalone book. You need to have read the original Inheritance cycle for a lot of things to make sense, and it leaves a lot of loose ends that keep it from being as concise as I wish it would be. But altogether, I'm going to give this book an 8.5 out of 10. If it had tied things up a bit better, I think it would have been a 9 or higher. This is a genuinely great book. I have buckets of praise for this book. If you have any nostalgia for Eragon, then this is a must-read. There is seriously so much good here, and if you like the original series at all, I highly recommend this book. And that is my review. Like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments what you thought of Murtagh, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. See you. Goodbye. Bye-bye.